Welcome to the Divalution, a show to empower, enlighten, and entertain divas and those that love us.
If you get hot, tell me.
Stand by. On my mark.
And here's your host, Deb St.Hilaire.
Oh, hello there. How's everybody doing tonight? You know what? It's a beautiful evening here, and it's so nice having it be light at this time of evening instead of dark, isn't it? Everybody.
It means I get to drive.
It does.
I'm not a
You get to
pumpkin.
play big girl
Yeah.
for a few months, and then it's back to pumpkin. But we give you rides, Beth, because we love you. So anyway, we're here in the studio this evening. It's going to be a really good show. And you know what today is? Before I introduce everybody, I want to tell you, today is Piercing Day. It's a day that we celebrate our piercings. How many piercings do you have, Beth?
2, 1 in each ear.
How many? How about you, Brenda?
0.
2. Carrie's
2.
got 2.
I have 3. 2 in one ear, but I haven't had it. Oh, I do have another earring in that one.
I lied. I have my belly button pierced.
Aha.
But I took it out when I got pregnant.
Oh,
Bad
that was
choice.
probably smart.
It was.
Yeah.
It was smart, but that was a bad choice getting it done.
Why? Was it fun when you did it?
It hurt.
Oh, it hurt.
Yes.
Very
uncomfortable, especially wearing jeans.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you couldn't wear the high-waisted ones
No,
with that.
absolutely not.
So I'm glad you took it out.
I am too.
Okay, so now we're going to go person by person on this special piercing day and introduce ourselves. So you can start, Beth.
Hello, my name is Beth Torb. I'm the minimally pierced, not tattooed, relatively unmarked and in the world the way I came. Owner of Base Camp Fitness Company. Glad to be here. I hardly ever get to be here for a whole show.
Yeah,
This is
that's
gonna
a
be
real
fun.
treat. Thanks. Brenda?
I am Brenda Presnell. I'm a health and wellness coach with St.Hilaire. Oh, there I'm moving away. And I am so excited to be here and finally meet Beth. Meet Beth and Deb in person after her 8-day excitement.
Yes. We'll talk about that, too.
Awesome.
And who are you?
I'm Carrie Lauterbach, Deborah, and I'm so honored to be here. I was nice to be able to drive up with Brenda. And actually, you mentioned about this area. It's beautiful.
Isn't it nice?
We just need to take some road trips up there.
I
here
agree.
for my family.
During the summertime, you're going to have to come up and we'll walk the waterfront and have lunch somewhere.
I'll take you up on that one for
Okay,
sure.
because it's really fun.
Yeah, I'm a health and wellness coach as well, and a advocate for women to live life to the fullest. And I'm just really stoked. This is the first time being on air, so this will be fun.
Good. And you know who I am, I think. If you don't, listen to another show when I introduce myself. So tonight our subject is about health, wellness, and fitness. And it makes me feel really good that models are starting to have some muscle definition. Have you noticed that?
Not hangers. I know that for a long time the ideal was
Not
to be
hangers.
Well,
it took
and
me a
that
while
was
to
it.
get that.
Right. They wanted thin, non-muscular, non-shaped. They needed to be like hangers because, and I remember that from an interview of a designer once saying that they just need to the clothes need to hang on them. They don't want them to be bodies to be noticed, just hangers for the clothes.
Wow, and that's really true, especially Paris Fashion Week. Those girls are still pretty thin. But all the pictures in magazines are starting to change a little bit. I think they're starting to not airbrush them as much, which is very, very good for all our little girls that are growing up to see body images that aren't so airbrushed. So fit is the new healthy. I've heard people saying that.
And even ballerinas. Look at the
right.
I am gonna every time I know her name like the back of my hand, and every time I go to talk about her, the Under Armour model who is a prima ballerina.
What is
she is starts with an M. Somebody call in and tell me.
It's
what it
Marina. Is it Marina?
No.
Marina Ballerina?
Marina. But she
like
goes
that
to
one.
the gym. She lifts weights. She's strong and muscular. And her body is not what you'd think of as the typical ballerina, but she can do more athletic things. She's fabulous. I don't want to say Missy. Something like that.
Well, maybe it'll come to you and just blurt it out.
Somebody's Googling.
Feel free to blurt it out.
Misty Copeland.
Yes, Misty Copeland.
Oh, you were right, Misty.
Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you,
Yes.
research guy.
We have our own research guy here.
Fact checker.
But yes.
Boy, we have arrived.
Yeah, he is the.
He's a cinematographer as well.
Yes. So, wow, we really have arrived. But he came with your entourage.
He did.
Absolutely.
He did.
So, Brenda, you, I did the 8-day cleanse, the Singular 8-day cleanse, and I would like you to share your story with us. Would you please?
Yes. I started about 3 years ago primarily for migraine relief. I suffered for 17 years with chronic migraines. I would get 5 to 7 a month. They'd last 2 to 3 days long. On top of that, I have hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's disease. I've had 2 back surgeries and a stomach surgery. And this was all before I even turned 40. So I was pretty much a hot mess. I could stand to lose some weight because I was so tired and sluggish all the time. But the migraines were debilitating. So my friend Carrie, who is also my friend and my coach and with us here this evening, I saw her post on Facebook all the different weight loss before and after pictures. And it wasn't until probably 9 months later I saw a story about migraines. And I called her up and said, what's the deal? I need to figure out what they're doing to get rid of their migraines. She told me about the 8-day detox cleanse. And I still was hemming and hawing because I'd been to neurologists and headache clinics and trials and holistic, and I even tease and say voodoo. I've tried everything under the sun for my migraines. Because if you've ever had a migraine, you know what I'm talking about. Your head is just, you literally want to cut it off, put yourself out of misery because you can't function. And I was on autopilot the whole 17 years with my children and husband. And it wasn't until Carrie said to me, well, after everything you've tried, did your doctors ever offer your money back?
No.
Oh, heck no.
No. And
That's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
I'm kind of comical when it comes to stuff like that. I've
Yeah.
been known to have a little sarcasm when I don't, for those that know
And it
me.
wasn't, I didn't not try, because one time I took migraine medication back to the pharmacist and said, hey, this doesn't work. I want my money back. They're like, yeah, it don't work that way.
That's where the ROFL stamp came from.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, do you see this lady?
Yeah.
So finally when she said, well, this is 100% money back guarantee. It doesn't work. It's results or refund. That's what she said. So I said, okay, fine. And I wanted to know when I had to return it because I knew it wasn't going to work. I was a huge skeptic. And
She wore me
The
out.
power of positive thinking.
She wore me out.
I wore her out for
Yeah.
sure. April 3rd of 2014, I took the plunge and was expecting at least a headache. The first 3 days, no headache. What I did notice on the third day was incredible energy because I went from not staying awake during the day and not being able to sleep at night. It was like a vicious cycle. And when you're a preschool teacher, you have to be awake during the day.
That's important.
It does come in handy.
You wake up tied up, with everything. Oh, what
Magic
happened?
marker on your face.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Survival skills.
Exactly. So, day 4, I had a wrench thrown in my plans, and I had a disc in my back from my 2 surgeries, scar tissue and whatnot, swell for no reason, and then put me on bed rest. But I am a very poor loser. I asked my husband. I hate to lose. So I was determined to get my money's worth, my time's worth, and I ate the food I was supposed to eat, took the supplements when I was supposed to take them. Day 9, I weighed in, lost 9 pounds and 6 inches, with 4 of those days on bed rest. I was like, crazy. Imagine what happens when you start eating good. Fast forward 2 weeks, I'm down 25 pounds, incredible energy, but I still feel like it's too good to be true because I had been through so much. I went to the doctors, convinced her she thought I was cuckoo.
Because she didn't believe me.
Still didn't believe her. And I said, I want you to do blood work. I feel like it's too good to be true. And she's like, okay, whatever. So she humored me, did my blood work, and literally called me the next day and said, whatever you're doing, you need to keep doing it. She goes, your blood work has never looked so good. I'm taking you off 50,000 mcgs of vitamin D. I'm going to start weaning you off your thyroid meds. And that's when I stopped her. I said, all the endocrinologists I saw said, you take that for the rest of your life. And she said, well, I looked back at all of your tests, and your scores have never been in the normal range. You're completely normal. She goes, don't get excited. Could be a fluke, false positive. We're going to test you every 3 months. And she did every 3 months. And February of last year, I got diagnosed with the rheumatoid arthritis. So I was off the thyroid meds. I had no migraines still. And then I got hit by a Mack truck. And arthritis itself is debilitating. And rheumatoid arthritis, I mean, I couldn't even pick up a glass. It was just insane.
Small everyday activities are hard.
Yeah. And it was
Zip
just,
up your coat.
Yeah. Go to the bathroom.
It affects your grip.
It got my hands, my wrists, and my hips. So I would go to sit down. And
Gosh, you don't use any of those, do you?
No, exactly.
No.
She had to retire her Latin dancing career.
Yeah, there it goes. No more. My hips won't lie anymore. So I went to the doctors, and I couldn't take the medication they gave me. They wanted me to take it 3 times a day, and I was only taking it once, and I couldn't even function. And then my husband looked at me. He's like, why aren't you using your stuff? Why aren't you using the food that you eat and the supplements? I'm like, I got scared. It was a knee-jerk reaction. The pain was so bad. Well, then I reached out to some gals that in St.Hilaire that I know have RA. I'm like, what are you guys doing? I said, we're taking the same stuff. What are you doing? They told me some tips and tricks like I do with people with migraines. And within 10 days, I went from a pain level of 10 down to a 4 to a 0. And so I'm on no meds for my rheumatoid arthritis, none for my migraines or thyroids, and today I'm celebrating 1,139 days migraine-free.
Woohoo!
Wow.
That's more. I think that's more important than piercing day, even.
Yes.
A little bit.
It's ironic. We do, like you said, we do have Trevor with us, and that is Brenda's son. And the first time I've ever heard him, I've heard her story 1,000 times. And every time it still gives me chills. It still gets me choked up because, by me sharing, I've been able to change her life. And I've heard how it's changed her family too. But just hearing Trevor, spontaneously say, wow, Mom, it's been 3 years. Wow. I remember when, I needed to go somewhere or do something, and you couldn't take me because you
She's
were
trying to make me
out.
Had to have a nap.
Yeah. And you had to, she used to say there was the purple,
The purple thing.
yeah, the purple thing.
There's a
So
rice
that's what the
bag
kids would go
that we
get.
kept in the
They'd
freezer.
say, Mommy, do you want me to go get the purple thing? And they knew because she was out and it totally consumed her life. I can't relate to that, but hearing Trevor, mention that's pretty deep.
It is. So it did literally change your life. It changed your everyday life. It changed how you function.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
So Beth has recently, she's been in fitness for a long time, and recently she's been focusing more on food because food really does play an important part of
Absolutely.
in our health. And our food pyramid is wrong. Do you know who Dr. Andrew Weil is?
Yes.
He is the first medical doctor that has placed the importance of food and a proper diet in anti-inflammatory reasons and antioxidant reasons. Since, who was it that said, was it Socrates that said food is medicine?
Let medicine be thy, or let food be thy
Thy
medicine.
Who said that? Hippocrates. So, that it goes full circle and it all comes back to that. If you eat right, you'll feel good. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, food is your medicine. Medicine it shouldn't have to happen. Other physicians that have been battling this for decades. When I listen and read the research and watch some of those shows that we had suggested as good, necessary to watch, that will change your view about how you eat. Things have been happening in food research for hundreds of years. And more recently, decades, that they've known things that just never get to our level, never get to the consumer level for us to use and put into practice because of the industry that is health and wellness. Bill Maher had a show on once, and he said, there is no money in healthy people. Mm-hmm. There's no money in dead people, but there's a lot of money in those people hanging in between that have diabetes and cancer and heart disease.
Absolutely.
And so to cure